Hello everybody, this is me, Martel. Decided to make a video dedication to black fathers, And black fathers are very vital and very important to black kids, And the reason I say it because I want to say rest in peace to my dad and my pastor, The most important people in my life, That's male, And before I start this, I want to put my headset on so y'all can actually hear me this time. Give me one moment, everybody.
Cardinal S225G.
Oh. Excuse me. Yeah, I went for it. I connected my tablet, which I got for being disabled, which I'm very thankful for. But nonetheless, though, on the contrary, let's get this out the way. I hate to say this, and this will come off starting negative. A lot of things said in the media and social media how they despise fathers, they hate black fathers. I had to defend this, even for the life of me. I'll perish on this hill, but you know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for black fathers and black uncles and stuff like that for really, even, it sounds cliche and corny, but even the streets, you got to have the balance, like yin and yang, you know what I'm saying? I actually read some of your comments about that too, between good and evil. Well, I learned from the best of men, I also learned from the worst of men, And growing up, so you got to mind me, this is the late 90s, early 2000s and stuff. I was only just a kid and all this stuff going on. I was disrespected from my, family side. Taken advantage of and so forth. I ain't gonna get into too much detail. And, so as I always want to say, no matter what the condition of your father, no matter if your father or your grandfather are able-bodied or disabled, elderly, or have whatever condition is, make sure you always take time out to love your papa, love your daddy, love your boyfriend, love your husband, Black fathers are definitely needed. I would say overall, in general, fathers are definitely needed, I'll be real with you, it wasn't really for my dad, my pastor. I was raised in a modest, kind of like lower middle class household and all that, And I'm very thankful to have a place right now. I'm just trying to progress in my life, As I'm drinking this sparkling ice cherry lemonade. To my sleeping master was speaking. I'm going to my first sleep study tomorrow. They told me you got an opening tomorrow. So I mean, I'm going to be busy literally all day. Unfortunately, they won't let me have have my phone while I do a sleep study. So I got to take, so it'll be my first night tomorrow. Tomorrow night will be my first night, sleeping there and all that, which would be pretty nice, I hope they got a nice shower over there. Yeah, I do shower on, but, I do think about being a father sometimes, if I was in the right circumstances. Sometimes I ask if I was normal, My dad was disabled, he was truly disabled, He was disabled, due to hand accidents and dialysis, and he did all he can, make sure I was alright. But back then I was into a lot of things, I was a quiet young kid and all that, but I also played some street sports, football and all that. So, I have asthma growing up, so I could never compete in sports or anything, which is, I was a fat black kid, struggle with his weight, stutter, but I'm very thankful. And, my dad passed nearly 10 years ago when I was 24 in 2014, and he was 64, so he would be 74, And I had to thank my dad, though. I was basically his caretaker, so I was kind of forced to play adult at such a young age. I was talking about caseworker day. You had to force to be a caretaker for my own dad, clean up, He also take care of me while I was take care of each other and all that. And I do think about someone asked, what if he was a father, And that's a hard question, you know, because I ain't got my dad with me or anything. I got a father figure, which I'm very thankful for. I ain't gonna say his name due to his privacy, but he's around the same age as my dad now, you know. He just turned his 60s and all that. He's like a father figure to me. It's like, and the kind of question as I'm being my third, I always, you know, look at kids and say, sometimes I wish I was rich. I wish I could just be a great provider for my kids, you know. And I think about me and my lady Isis and all that, you know, we really talk about heavily start a family and all that in the near future. And I'd love to be a dad, you know what I'm saying? No matter what the media, social media thinks about black men or men in general, be a father to your kids. Don't listen to what the media say about men are deadbeats and, you know, losers and all that. Don't care for their sons and daughters and all that. It's really disgusting, you know? And I fought against that most of my whole entire life. There are some great dads, you know, myself was an example, you know. But unfortunately, too, growing up, my dad was almost like, you got mind, like when my dad passed, I was only 24. He was 64, so it's like we was almost like 4 generations apart. So I couldn't really relate to him. He couldn't really relate to me, you know, being a 80s baby, the 90s kid to early 2010 to 2010, 20s, dealing with, you know. And I lost my mother in 2003, will be 20 years ago, April 13 and all that. And I couldn't forget my mother or anything. You always gotta remember both of your parents, you know. If you have some, appreciate them, you know. And it breaks my heart to see kids without fathers or anything, or ain't really raised with good fathers. My lady was telling me I'm not allowed to share too much of her case, but she told me she came from a divorced background. And I ain't gonna reveal too much because I actually gave her permission to see if I could actually say that, you know, but she came from a divorced family. And unfortunately, due to tragedies, you know, my mother passed very early, so it basically made my dad a single father and all that. And he did working wonders despite his disability and all that. I kind of admit this right now. I couldn't even be with my dad at all, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's insecurity, maybe just impurities, nonsense, ignorance, buffoonery, I don't know. And plus, even if I was a father, can you imagine what kind of kids environment growing up? Let's just get the negativities out the way. Let's just get the nonsense out the way. Call me what you want. But imagine those kids with facing peer pressure, being around, you know, kids do stupid things just to make friends or get a girlfriend. Let's not be around a bush here, you know what I'm saying? And peer pressure sucks, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat for anybody. But like everybody want to fit in, or what you would call sell out and all that, you know? Especially as a kid, you know, so nobody will be abandoned and left behind, which that happened to me many times, you know? I never could fit in or feel part, so you know what I'm saying? That's why I make the 2 course loneliness. But what was it like if I was a father, you know what I'm saying? And I had to question myself too, if I was really a father. I'd probably be ashamed to be a father nowadays, because look what kind of environment kids looking up to. Look what it is, music they listen to. I was very thankful I came up with great quality music in mind. Also, a lot of it required to learn about, you know, music school, music classes and stuff like that. I was talking to my lady about this too, like when she graduated high school, a few years ago, she told me they took out all the music classes. So, of course, right if I have a son and daughter, they don't know nothing about music, you know what I'm saying? And music courses and classes and dances itself is not cheap, you know what I'm saying? And they're taking all this extra curriculum out, you know what I'm saying? The way I've been researching about this. Sorry, my knees is shaking too. I'm just waiting for my medicine to kick in and all. Yeah, and I feel for the youth of today, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to really relate to the youth of today because they're going for their own struggles, their battles. You know, I'm thankful to have a young audience. I'll be sharing a lot of these things which y'all go through, but you know, at 33 years old, I do think about being a father sometimes, you know? I do think about fatherhood sometimes, you know? And I don't know what kind of environment kids will need, you know? I'm not even rich, you know what I'm saying? I even told my lady this. I'm not rich, you know. Embarrassing to say that. I'm embarrassed that sometimes being on disability, I really just sacrifice my own self and health just to get me and my family and my team and company out of here, you know. I know I'm ashamed to admit this at times, you know. How I'm supposed to be a father in this kind of condition? How? You know, that make the whole family look kind of bad and the business look bad, you know. I know I ain't supposed to beat myself up, so you gotta forgive me at times. I was forced to deal with mature things at such a young age, you know. And I ain't supposed to share this or stuff, but my lady share this all the time, like, you know, about maturity and all that. And I had to tell myself I was forced to be something I'm not, my love, you know. And I'll say love and bunny and gold buns and stuff, you know. It kind of she reminds me of me. If I wasn't fully forced on corruption or anything, I was forced to be something I'm not, you know. She had the liberty, the choices to be something great. I didn't have the opportunity. It's either I take care of my dad or perish, you know. And shallow as it sounds, you know. And I had to think back in my life that no way would I put my own son and my own daughter what I've been through, you know. And not to think about their well-being too, you know. They're on their own individuals too, you know. And what happened, they become rebellious, you know, start attacking me, you know, my lady. So, you know, look what kind of environment kids grew up on, peer pressure, teen rebellion. Like, you know what I'm saying? This sound like even a hypocrite even for me, you know, because I was rebellious myself, still kind of rebellious, but, you know, I had to kind of calm down, had to think about the future and stuff, you know. Sometimes I feel like I kind of be able to sell off my own self. So it's like, you're supposed to be all this bigger man. You're supposed to be the better man. You're supposed to walk away from some things, you know. A lot of things I was kind of forced to walk away, forced to turn something I'm not, you know. And I have to help myself accountable at times, you know. Just living in toxic environments, living, you know, painful life or death choices, you know what I'm saying? That severe, you know. And always worried for the back of my head if my dad ever wakes up, you know what I'm saying? Especially be tired from dialysis and all that. 3 days a week for such a young childhood, you know. Then myself with a disability and all that. So I never really took any hard time for myself growing up. So of course, can you imagine your whole life with just forcefully had to take care of others against your own will or watch they suffer and still suffering, you know? And when my dad passed, like before he passed, so it was they took him off dialysis. He was not, you know, responding to the medicine and need. Then it was very painful that, yeah, he was not looking so good. He was breathing so hard, his eyes were closing. And our last song that we played together was one of his favorite songs. I could never even listen to the day I die is My Girl by Temptation. And I can't even sing or anything because it's somewhere I have a love and hate song relation with this. And I know I'm not going to get attacked or anything, but my dad grew up on Motown and all that. And I hugged my dad, hugged my dad, everything I got. So I wish I could join you. You're like my best friend. My mother already left me. Please don't leave me, you know. And they both did anyway. To this day, my dad passed on August 31st, 2014. And I meant almost 10 years while my dad's been nothing but harsh, you know what I'm saying? And myself dealing with diabetes and health conditions too, you know. I'm surprised I'm still alive to tell the story. But I don't know how long I got, you know. So I'm really, just feel like I'm running out of time. What kind of father would I be, you know? So what kind of man would I be? I'm not even rich or healthy or anything. You know, I had to sell my own plasma, so sometimes, especially you live as a man, sometimes in America, it's like, oh, you're forced to be a machine, you know. And I understand a lot of it, and I sound fake, and I give you that, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't knock any young man or young, you know, older man become machines and stuff, you know. I'm trying my best not to let this control me or destroy me or anything, you know. It's a lot harder than what it seems. And I'm thankful for y'all, you know. Y'all have to hear a broken man sometimes, you know. Being a father, if I was rich, be much happier, you know what I'm saying? Not just for myself and anything, but also for my lady and my kids, you know. I know that if I could barely take care of myself, how could I take care of family? Despite all against all odds, you know. I'm surprised y'all haven't given up on anything. I'm trying my times too not to give up myself. My mother's words before she passed 20 years ago was saying never give up, And many times I just want to take some, pills and just get it over with, but somehow I'm still here. Time after time, I don't have no strength left or running on E, so I'm empty. I guess if I wasn't forced on this circumstance, if I wasn't disabled, if I was actually normal sometimes, I do think about starting a family, I truly do. It's like, especially being the only child, at times I feel I was abandoned, left out a lot of things. I was left out, missed out a lot of great things with others, not having no brother and sister, so, So I told her, told my lady, I do want to eventually have a kid of my own, a couple kids, so the kids won't get lonely like I was growing up, especially sleeping in a lonely ass bed. Everybody get to spend time with their family and all that, their brothers and sisters, playing videos again. Can you imagine out there they play video game, call it child for what it is, but being the only child, you only just play video games by yourself, one single player mode all the time. I was very thankful, at the time, neighborhood kids and so forth. But I remember that was a community back then. Well, it was, but nowadays ain't no such thing as community no more. And sorry for drilling too much or anything, but I refuse to talk to a therapist, a psychologist, where could they throw me to a psych ward against my will again? No way. And I don't talk to therapists and psychologists way because I got thrown to a psych ward against my will, and I don't want that happening. So I had to fake it and make it to say how whatever, I feel good, And I realized this too in my 30s. I'm not being no spring chicken anything myself, and I do talk about aging, morality, and all that. I did look at myself all day today. It's like, you seen better days, Martell. You seen better days, and I kind of realized my health is failing too. I don't know what to say to the team, anything. My health keeps failing. I'm thankful I was able to get plasma and stuff, but I don't know how long my body is. Try to keep moving, I guess my message for fathers in general, or fathers to be, please be in these kids' lives, Kids need somebody to look up to, Now, a great lady, actually my caseworker, another caseworker I know for off and on a couple of years due to this pandemic now, since we didn't get a chance to see each other. Now we are, due to my health issues. My dad took my appendix out. Just asking me, you think you're ever being a mentor? So, how can I mentor anyone? I ain't got myself in the order, let alone a kid. And I ain't gonna sit there in front of all y'all. I let a lot of people down, including sometimes my own family. Now, let alone weapon, that could be, I had taken care of kids that could be possible my son's age if I was in a different light sometimes. But anyways, I know I'm going all way overboard, went over time and all that. Because I care about, kids in general, I don't know, man. It's like, I do talk to a lot of young people on social media and all that because they like my music or like my content. And I would say thank you to the young people, And it sound hypocritical coming from me because I was raised with old folks and so I was raised with old heads and all that. So I get a lot of the best and the worst of men, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what to say to these young generation of boys and men after me. Like I said, a couple videos, and I did say this too, like it's going to be a whole generation of savages and degenerates, you know what I'm saying? I'm not being conceited or disrespectful or anything, or intentionally sound like I'm disrespectful or anything. I always have to be mindful regardless of everything. I do mindful of young boys and young youth after me, you know what I'm saying? I was like taught to a bunch of young kids. That's like half my age, you know what I'm saying, doing all these great things. And I'm here, shameful to admit, being on disability. I'm trying my best to figure how to win the lottery, how to get off of disability. I know it sounds crazy, it's just been born on disability because, you just get tired of asking for it. You just get tired of fighting sometimes, but I had to figure bigger things than just myself. If it was just myself, I would have been gave up a long time ago. Probably not be here a long time ago either. So it's for the people while I'm here. Anyways, I'm out.